Turtle formation in 3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
What happened to turtle formation?
Wait, turtle formation? I thought you said squirrel formation.
The thing about the turtles that we always try and keep forefront in our minds is that they're fun and they're brothers.
The first movie was great in showing us the group, but we've always talked about this movie being more about each individual brother.
Turtle power!
Luckily, we have these unbelievable actors to bring the turtles to life.
Let's just say we're 4 brothers from New York who hate bullies and love this city.
All the guys that play the turtles are super talented, and they give you so much to react to, and you end up loving them so much because they were all so perfectly cast as their characters that I feel like that sort of brings the relationship to life.
The guys are awesome. I've said this over and over again. I don't know what the movies would be without these guys. There's so much genuine camaraderie and love that we have for each other that's been there from the very beginning.
It's amazing to have the brotherhood that we have.
I dare you. Dare you. Jer Bear, one more time.
We've been through this experience before, so there's a lot of trust there.
We all know each other now, so we can just come to work and, you know, have fun.
These 4 guys are as close as it gets as friends. So they had to fracture in the movie, you know, unlike they ever have in real life.
We may be brothers, but we are not a team.
I think a great challenge this time around is trying to dig up new ground and to reveal a part of these characters that hasn't been seen yet in the comic books, in the past movies, and to really flesh out these characters in an even more 3-dimensional way, which is really, really exciting to play. How these 4 guys are brothers and the fun parts of that, the bad parts of that, and how through thick and thin that's okay, and that's a natural part of growing up.
I don't know what to do. Donnie's nose is in his computer, Raph's brains are in his biceps, and Mikey's head's in the clouds. I can't get them all on the same page.
Leo is dealing with a leadership crisis in this movie, where he's a teenager trying to govern a group of crazy teenagers and get them to listen.
If we could get our hands on more of this stuff, it could be life-changing.
We don't need that kind of change.
Pete Plozak was incredible as Leonardo. You can see in Pete's performance the fact that he's a leader, but you can also see some of the indecision in the conflicts that arise.
There's even a chance that ooze can make us human.
We're turtles, whether you like it or not. With the new opportunity to become human, with the power of the purple ooze brings a whole new threat to Leo's leadership, his ability to keep the family together.
You put me in charge, and Shredder slipped through our fingers.
Donatello over there in the purple, he's a technical genius who is technically a genius.
We all know Donatello as the nerdy one, the tech guy. In this sequel, we are going to get to see a side of Donatello that's really kind of warm and really fun and really funny.
This must be what they came to Brazil for.
It's the interdimensional portal opening thingy-mabob.
Well, there's probably a more technical name for it.
We see a lot more emotion from him this time, a lot more depth than we've certainly seen from film 1.
We have a system that works. We shouldn't mess with the formula.
What was exciting for me is getting a look inside of the relationships between all 4 brothers and getting to see these guys fight, get angry at each other, and, you know, all the things that families do. You're actually seeing on screen this time.
Get out of your head and communicate.
Well, what do you expect? He's all logic, no skills.
Oh, coming from the guy who was all instinct, no restraint.
Dude, what do you know about anything? You're all heart and no brains.
How could you? You may know a lot about strategy, but you know nothing about feelings.
We want it to feel like there are some real stakes here. So it's a balancing act between the humor amongst the turtles and the realness of what they're having to battle.
Ship's designate is the Technodrome. Commanding officer goes by the name of Krang.
I don't know that guy, but I hate that guy.
I love playing Mikey. He's just the heart and soul of the group. He's just fun. He's like the really fun younger brother that, you know, you either had or you wish you had kind of thing.
We were sent by the Supreme Leader to eat delicious humans and dip them in ranch dressing.
He's the funny one, and he's loose and kind of, just seems like he doesn't care about anything, and I think there's a lot of fun in that.
Nunchucks Giganticus!
When Noel puts on the Mikey voice, it just makes you smile because, it's like anything. You're hanging with Noel off camera, and then he goes on set, and then suddenly Michelangelo starts talking. You're like, oh, there he is. That's so fun.
Now, the people in New York need us to set aside our differences and work together, which begs only one question. Are you two guys like a thing?
I look at Mikey kind of like the glue that holds everybody together in a weird way because no matter what, he's always got a pure heart.
Wait, hey, look, if you tell Dale that I told him, we'll never finish our hip-hop Christmas album!
Raphael's a character who everyone is, they're used to him being the angry guy, but in this movie, we're also going to see a side of him that is protective of Michelangelo, and he's got a big heart, and he's looking after his little brother.
You should consult with us before you decide to do something like that. I consulted Donnie, and we decided that
And what about Mikey? He don't get a vote?
There's only one vote that counts in this family. Mine.
Alan Richardson is amazing as Raphael. He's got this incredible physicality that he brings to Raphael. You can see him kind of hulking around. He's got this great posture and this great walk, and you can tell that he's a guy who's been lifting a lot of weights.
He's like a big, cuddly teddy bear. If big, cuddly teddy bears were incredibly violent.
Man, I connect to Raph in a lot of ways. He thinks things through in the sense that there's a right and a wrong, and I'm just gonna do the right thing, and I don't need to think about anything else. I relate to that. I like that he's, he goes right for the jugular no matter what.
Enough! It's time to take out the trash.
Splinter sees the boys that he's raised his entire life growing up a little bit. And part of seeing his boys grow up means that he has to impart a really important lesson, which is that the turtles have to take accountability for their actions. He's allowing the turtles to figure out what they need to figure out in their own lives.
Your boyhood is drawing to an end. You are becoming young men. The choice is yours.
When it comes down to it, do we want to drink this purple ooze and become human? And the answer is no, because they realize who they are is more than okay.
Normal? What fun is that?
It's about the power of family and what family can do when they are working together. That's what Ninja Turtles is all about.
We're gonna need strategy. Instinct.
Logic. And boatloads of heart.
I loved making the first one, so having the opportunity to go back with these characters was unbelievable.
That was just part of the joy of making the movie. It has tons of action, tons of humor, and an even bigger threat.
Everybody involved in making this movie really loves it. Being able to work with the same guys again, and all the guys that play the turtles are super talented.
April is the fifth turtle. They are all very close, and they work together to defeat the evil that's lurking in New York.
April's family with the turtles, and the only human that she really deals with. I mean, they know Vern, but April is the one they deal with the most.
Well.
They have not taken credit for saving the city in the first movie, and neither has April, because she didn't want to. They obviously can't. And so Vern has taken credit.
He's happy to do it. And so we find Vern, he's kind of on top of the world. He's courtside at the Knicks game. He's at all the great parties, and he's getting the key to the city.
After what has happened in the last film, the turtles are still living in the shadows. Shredder is now in jail.
When we developed movie 1, we had a whole list of characters that we wanted to put in the movie. When we had the opportunity to make movie 2, we went back to that list and said, okay, what characters would we love to see in a Turtle movie?
And then the Turtles were such a large undertaking in terms of constructing them and building them that we just didn't have the time or the place to put those characters into the first movie.
You're really lucky that for movie 2, we get to bring all these characters to life.
The portal's opening.
Bebop, Rocksteady.
What is happening to us? I don't know.
Baxter Stockman.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Krang.
We can bring the people of your planet to their knees.
And Casey Jones.
I'm being chased down, and from the shadows comes. What's your name?
Casey Jones.
Stacy Moans.
Oh. Casey Jones.
Casey's a really fun character. We're kind of telling the story of the birth of this character in our own way. He's learning how to be a vigilante in this movie.
When we meet him, he is not the Casey Jones that people have come to expect. He's sort of forced into it. He doesn't want to be a vigilante.
He's a little bit rough around the edges. He's never kind of gone out in the night and worn a hockey mask and fought these fights before.
Am I seriously taking wardrobe advice from a group of swamp things living in an underground amusement park and have, forgive me, the most pretentious names ever?
We needed a guy we knew maybe a love interest for April. We needed some action, and we needed humor. And Stephen Amell had all those qualities. When we put them in a room together, we did a nice test with Megan and Stephen to see April and Casey together in a casting session. We knew the minute they were together in the room that was Casey Jones.
And the chemistry between Casey and April keeps it light and fun.
Get away from her!
Hey! Whoa!
Casey Jones is such an icon.
Casey Jones's mask was a big, big deal. You know, we went to the whole, this is a traditional hockey mask, maybe that's what he should have. But then we needed really to get the iconic Casey Jones in it, so we really pretty much manufactured the mask that you see in the movie.
And to have Stephen come on board was so fun. And he's had his superhero experience, he gets it.
Being a part of the Turtles universe and representing Casey Jones to longtime fans, it's a somewhat daunting task, but I feel like I nailed it.
Get down on the ground!
Jones, you gotta be kidding me. I play Bureau Chief Rebecca Vincent, who is head of organized crime in New York. Tell me where they are.
I don't know. But if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Chief, the Turtles are not the ones you should be chasing.
Everyone's been a little stunned that I'm doing this. I thought it would just be fun.
When we sent her the script, the shooting script, we also sent her a pizza. And this is a Turtles movie, so we sent Laura a large cheese pie. And for a day, we did not hear back. Like, oh, maybe the pizza didn't go over so well. Like, huh. The next day on my phone, I got a text. And it's Laura Linney with an Orange Crush can with all the pizza gone.
And Andrew showed me this text, and he's like, we know she's totally on board, and she's going to be awesome.
Also, now that I have a child of my own, I would like them to be able to see me in something that's not traumatizing.
In movie 1, Shredder kind of was behind a mask. You really never saw the face of Shredder. So on movie 2, we went out there and we searched, and we found Brian T., who literally has turned Shredder into a character in this movie.
Brian, in particular, I worked a lot with Brian. He's fantastic.
Shredder's cool, and to be able to play him is literally an honor. I remember growing up as a kid dressed as Shredder. He was the ultimate for me. I have to pinch myself. He's, to me, an icon.
He only wears the mask at the end of the film. I mean, there's a lot of Brian T. playing Shredder in this movie, and it's so nice to see Shredder come to life.
I am the face of Shredder. In other movies and in some of the cartoons, you don't ever really get to see Shredder's face. He's always inside some mask. And to be able to do the movie mostly without the mask is one of those dreams come true. The costume is badass. It's, to me, one of my favorite things I've ever put on. This one has the complete balance of who he really is. It's leather, it's slick, but then also has this samurai essence. And I think that's what Shredder truly is.
Brian T was just so awesome in giving us just a quiet intensity that was scary and filled with meaning. He would just do a head turn, and it would just silence the set.
He takes his work very seriously, so you assume that when he's not playing Shredder, he's still going to be serious, but he's really not. He's just kind of this very warm family guy who, you know, is playing a great role.
I've traveled very far now. We have work to do.
As our movie opens, April O'Neil learns that Shredder's actually going to be broken out of jail that night.
Dr. Stockman, we just got confirmation, sir. The package is shipping later tonight.
We'll make sure they're tracking it every step of the way.
It was the only idea anyone ever thought of, was Tyler Perry could be Baxter Stockman.
I thought, okay, Ninja Turtles, great. And my son getting an opportunity to see me do something other than Medea, this sounds really, really good. So, especially being, you know, with the Turtles. So it was pretty exciting.
To have Tyler come in and play this character and make this character his own, you know, and literally put those glasses on and just watch Tyler transform from off camera to coming on and becoming Baxter Stockman was amazing.
I've done everything you asked. You promised. No, I am a legend. I will be a legend.
He is a legend. I mean, what he has accomplished is unprecedented. And for him to come and just say, well, did I do that scene right? It's like, dude, yes, I mean, you tell me. I thought so.
We're responsible for opening the fabric between two worlds. He does all the work, but he's completely ignored and completely underserved and completely just, you know, I could relate to that, you know, growing up being the underdog. So I immediately sparked to him, and to have an opportunity to play the brilliant, mad scientist who becomes madder, that's a lot of fun.
Eliminate those turtles.
He came to act. He didn't have any of the other responsibilities that he usually has, and he was really fun and a delight on set.
Now all we need are test subjects.
Large in size, low in intellect. That will easily fall under my command.
Bebop and Rocksteady are fan favorites.
I love that we have Bebop and Rocksteady, who are like, you know, fixtures from my childhood.
That hurts. I like it.
First of all, Bebop is not the smartest dude in the world. Neither of them are.
They're actually more of a hindrance to Shredder than they are to the Turtles most of the time, which makes it pretty funny.
You know, Shredder has mutated these guys and he's created them, but at the same time, he kind of regrets his decision because they're just the dumbest henchmen in the world.
Not the smartest guys in the world, but really want to do the best we can at doing bad things.
Boss, we did it, we did it. We got that super important thing, kind of hard thing to find thing.
They're as dumb as they are powerful.
Stephen Farrelly, he came in with such passion for the character, like it was crazy. My first meeting with him, I'm like, God, this guy, he really wants this.
I literally have a mohawk, so I spiked it up like a horn, threw on all the gear, the combats and everything.
And then he auditioned, and he was amazing. And maybe the strongest human being I've ever met. I mean, the guy was hitting walls. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? You don't have to hit that. He's like, no, I need to. And I'm like, all right. And there's a shot in the movie where he hits a button, and he's really hitting it.
This is such a scale I've never been involved in anything like this. So I definitely reached out to Gary. I knew that because we were doing Bebop Rocksteady, the characters are so iconic and they're so interlinked together that there has to be great chemistry between them.
Gary's great. He's a big improviser. Because Bebop and Rocksteady are CG creatures, we would record his lines in the ADR booth, which would just allow him all this kind of tether to just invent great stuff.
Bringing back the mohawk. Good for you.
Oh, y'all got jokes, huh?
The voiceover that he does, is a lot of it is ad-lib stuff that he came up with, and it just goes straight into the movie. You don't have to worry about it.
My Speedo's already packed. Bebop and Rocksteady have a real love for each other, being around each other and helping each other out. It's like a brotherly thing that actually Seamus and I have really had a good time just hanging out together.
We hit it off right away, and it's very hard not to hit it off with Gary. He's so funny. He's literally on the go all the time. There's nobody can keep up with him or catch up with him. Even when the cameras aren't rolling.
It's on, baby!
They are non-stop. They don't turn off. You know, from the time they're in the makeup trailer, I hear Gary.
Not only do I play Bebop, but I also designed this entire... For no extra charge. For no extra charge. It's just what I do for the people.
For the first few hours, I didn't know if he was British, if he was from the Bronx, if he was from Brooklyn. He goes in and out of all these different accents, but he's non-stop hilarious. It's really awesome.
You better run!
Krang, who is the uber villain of the franchise, and Shredder and Krang will be working together in this movie to try to take over the world.
Well, I think that since the last movie focused on Shredder, you have to have a bigger, badder villain.
Playtime is over!
Krang is definitely a fan favorite, and Michael, Drew, and I have always loved Krang, so it just kind of, it made sense for us to bring him in.
A lot of the interplay between Shredder and Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady that I remember from the cartoons was, there's a lot of banter. Shredder was always rolling his eyes at what Bebop and Rocksteady were doing, and Krang was rolling his eyes at all of them.
The Earth is my toy, and I do not like to share.
It's a bigger movie, it's a bigger spectacle.
I'm excited for people to see the film.
For me, growing up, I don't know what kid in my school wasn't a fan, so to be a part of this is tremendously special.
I never imagined that I'd be in a turtle film, but it's great fun.
Thanks, buddy. You actually take joy in the transformation that happens.
To be a part of that is amazing, especially watching the show as a kid.
For myself, the experience has been the funnest, coolest movie to be a part of.
I love hanging with these characters, so I could make 100 of these. I love these guys.
Everyone who has grown up loving the Ninja Turtles has wanted to visit the turtle lair, which I got to do on this movie, which was like a total dream come true.
When the lair got blown up in movie 1, we knew we had to redesign it.
We all walked into the lair at the same time, and yeah, I mean, it's just drop dead. Like, your jaw's on the floor.
I was blown away the first time I saw it. I'm blown away now, and I've been in it for a while, quite a while.
The producers were saying that this could be the biggest, best set they've ever seen, which is amazing to be a part of that.
This lair is humongous. I think you can fit 3 of the first turtle lair into this ginormous lair here. There's so much, you can never get this in one shot, let alone 50 shots.
The space is as immense horizontally as it is vertically. So when you look up, you get this incredible perspective of sewer tubes and distant subway tunnels, and they're in the underbelly of New York.
We can create pretty much anything you can imagine in CG, but if we've got something in camera that is already photoreal and beautiful, then all we need to do is allow that to be our inspiration and then build from that.
We really fought to make sure that we could build this set and just have our CG characters interacting in a real environment, and I think it really, really helps the movie.
When you're in a lair like this, a lot of the work's done for you. You look at Leo's bed, and he's got his swords above his bed. You have all of these clues just to help you build this world.
There's running water and a slide, like, that we can go down.
So we can never forget they're teenagers, and who doesn't want a water slide?
One of the great things that the special effects team did was they built this wonderful tank behind it, which pumps through using 3 big pumps. Enough water every minute to fill a swimming pool.
3, 2...
Excuse me, all right, slow down.
We really wanted it to feel like each turtle had their own section of the lair.
Donnie's got a new lair set up, and this time he's got a full laboratory, twice as many surveillance screens.
This is where Donatello hangs out. If he's not in the turtle van or he's not in his amazing bedroom, he comes to here.
In the first Turtles, Donatello had a lot of used items that he had scavenged, and now he is totally upgraded.
Deborah's brought this to life by not only bringing in the computer world, but also bringing in the science world. Donnie will come in here and he'll track the foot and he'll see what's going on with Shredder, but then he will also use his science lab to break down and to look at the purple ooze that is given to him.
If we could get our hands on more of this stuff, it could be life-changing.
One of the interesting challenges we have is that turtles are much bigger than humans, and they've got this big shell behind them. So therefore, the simple things like sitting in a chair is very, very difficult. So we had to come up with a whole new way of how the turtles would actually sit.
This is made for the turtles because it's a skateboard chair, which Eric Felberg designed, and it was used in Turtle 1. It's always Donnie's chair, the skateboard chair, because it fits the turtle shell.
When you first go up the stairs into the bedroom, Leo, who's the older brother and feels like he's a little bit more superior, he has "Do Not Enter" stamped on the side of his bed there because he's the older, bigger brother.
Leonardo is the best ninja of the group, and training is very important to him, so his bed is perfectly made, and his sword is always being sharpened, and his bonsai tree is clean.
You then walk over to Donnie's bedroom.
Donnie's bed's the coolest. It's got a cutout in the wall.
So we created this sort of mattress that went around so that as a turtle you can actually sleep a lot better on a round surface than you can on a flat surface.
And he's got all these computer screens and everything up.
He has 4 different televisions. He has Xbox all over the place. The way that he thinks, he just writes stuff down. Every time that he thought of something, we said that he'd be writing down equations on the wall. So if you look very carefully at his bedroom and throughout the set, you'll see that he's just scribbled and just written things everywhere.
You can tell he doesn't do a lot of sleeping.
Raphael's bunk buddies with Michelangelo in this movie. He's got the upper bunk.
Raph is on this one, and just look at this collection of sneakers that Deborah found to dress it. It's all these little details and fun elements that actually make it really cool.
He's got airplanes, got a bit of American flag there.
So Raph is the one that's also bodybuilding as well, so we've got lots of weights and lots of weight bells and things like that.
Mikey, his bunk is beneath Raphael's, and he's got, you know, a drum kit next to his bed.
He has guitars. His bed is definitely not made. So this is much more of a sort of like a fun, interesting feel to Mikey over here. Sometimes when you have 15-year-old boys, you need to be able to get a bit of a me time. So if you were a ninja master, where would you relax? Where would you find peace? Well, it'd obviously be right under here. We have a chandelier that the turtles have actually repurposed. Wonderful balloon whisks and construction lights. And then we have this top of what would have been one of the pipes that came up. And then in the background, we have the soothing tones of wonderful water as it drops down from the pipes above. Splinter, being the Zen master that he is, follows the act of bonsais. He loves to actually tend to his bonsais, so we had to create this little garden space, this Zen area for Splinter.
Giant rat 1, new guys 0.
This is the kitchen. They drink Orange Crush, so this is the perfect turtle refrigerator. Because not only does it only have Orange Crush, but they can get the coldest one from the back because it spins.
Part of the benefit of having such an amazing lair is being able to hang out in it on all the downtime between takes and to discover things that the designers put there, that the set dressers have put, that you had no idea were there.
The detail in this set is ridiculous. It really feels like they live there.
The new layer is the perfect metaphor for the movie overall. The first one was cool. This is like Turtle 2.0. It's gonna be awesome.
We should really have people over more often.
Okay, guys, don't get too excited. It's still a work in progress. This is the Turtle Van. It's so much cooler than the first one.
I mean, it's a garbage truck, you know, like with the most decked out interior in the world.
The truck was a no-brainer for us. Let's give that truck an upgrade.
Well, no time like the present.
And we knew we wanted to give him some big and beefy that Donatello could really trick out with lots of fun stuff.
We know that turtles move through the night stealthily because they're ninjas. We wanted them to fit in and go through New York at night and be there without anyone knowing them.
We wanted to create a vehicle for the turtles that was as clandestine as it was suited for combat.
We looked at New York, and what happens at night? All the trash trucks come out.
You You've never seen anything like it before. It's a garbage truck, but it's the turtle van. It's so cool to see this thing barreling down the freeway.
The van walks that line so well between grounding this story in reality and in today, but then also letting the turtles be turtles and not forgetting the fact that we are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so it is fun. It is wacky.
It's a playpen. It's filled with buttons and dials and things you just want to press.
Gotta get Mikey closer.
It's got these weird tailpipes that are for nitrous.
It's got a couch inside, multiple big screen TVs.
We got games, we got a big soda machine. We're set up.
So here we are inside the turtle van. This is like a 15-year-old's dream.
Okay, hit the button. What button? What button? There are a million buttons.
Eric, the illustrator, sent me a piece of research, which was an old nuclear plant, where there was all these white lines drawn between the buttons to say what each button was. So I gave it to Martin Lang. And then Martin came in and he went wild with his pen, started drawing on all the boards. If you look closely at the bins, everything is tied in. Well, as you see, like the chocolate sauce, what a teenager would do with his ice cream. Then they have a refrigerator. They, of course, have the Orange Crush machine because they love Orange Crush. That's Mikey's skateboard over there.
Donatello made this video game here, and if you actually look at the top here, all the Master of Revenge scores, the best scores are all by Donatello, 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 until you get down to 10th place where Mikey is in place.
The truck's front grate shoots out manhole covers, which is pretty cool.
The turtle van that we had as kids, the little toy, shot, you know, pizzas out of its front grill. Pizzas aren't really practical for them to do combat with, but what if they're manhole covers?
Kind of a hopped up Pez dispenser, if you will. We had a katana launcher that thwarts Shredder from being lifted up in a helicopter and then cuts the cable.
Yeah. So one of the things that ninjas are known for is their ability to fight and the weapons that they use. And the weapon that Mikey uses is the nunchucks.
Mikey, clear our right flank.
Nunchucks Giganticus!
What Donatello created is this virtual world where he's able to grab these handles and move them like nunchucks, and then these huge nunchucks grow out the side of the van and start clobbering the foot as he's going. So every movement, every single smash and grab and pow and bam that he does with one of these relates to a foot being smashed on the outside.
Say hello to my little friend!
The Ninja Turtles don't use traditional guns. This is a special net gun that fires a net out.
It's all you, Mikey.
Time to shine.
They press the button and they actually fire a net that tries to capture Shredder.
Take the shot, Mikey!
Yeah!
It's a bunch of kids making do with what they find beneath Manhattan. And that perfectly encapsulates that spirit and that play.
Everyone that comes inside it, even the crew themselves, just stop in awe and just go, wow, and just look at all the different elements that are inside there.
You could live in this thing. I mean, it's incredible. The imagination is just, it's inspiring.
It's an amazing thing to see.
This is awesome!
Part of our process on this movie was opening up every single comic book, opening up every single cartoon, and looking for Easter eggs.
It's a mixture sort of everything. I mean, I remember on one of the days, the prop master came over and had a suggestion for an Easter egg, and the art department had a suggestion for an Easter egg, and the cameraman had a suggestion for it. It's like they sort of will come up.
You know, I've only ever really had one goal.
Everybody on that team is a creative person, sort of, you know, living in the material. So there were great suggestions that came along the way.
Grab Friday the 13th here to follow.
In the prop world, once you can get all the design and all the other things, then you can start thinking about the franchise and what do all the fans want to see in the movie. So we put a lot of Easter eggs in.
There's so much invention throughout the history of the Ninja Turtles that we're borrowing from new stuff just as much as we're borrowing from old stuff. There are these awesome splash pages in some of the original comics where the turtles jump in the air and it's almost like time has frozen them. You know, Mikey's doing the nunchucks and everyone's kind of in an awesome pose, which you can only do in comics. And I'd say, let's do that, you know? Let's make this splash page come to life.
The one that I think everyone will know is that when the turtle van honks, people will recognize the melody of the horn.
If anyone looks at the hockey stick, it is an Eastman instead of an Easton.
When Chief Vincent says to Casey Jones, where are the turtles? You know, where are they from? Where are they?
I don't know anybody anything until you tell me where those turtle things came from.
New Hampshire. That's where Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird are from.
On Baxter Stockman's desk, you'll see a chessboard, because in one iteration of Baxter's legacy, he was a master chess player. The back slope of the truck has a garbage truck shape to it, but if you look closely, there's a little turtle shell design to it. In the van, the turtle van, you'll see foot stinks sticker, in the van.
No, I added a little bit more turtle detail to most of the weapons, particularly Leonardo's sword. The hilt of it, I sort of did a turtle shell.
A modernized and slightly different design, but the idea of like an eyeball coming out of the top of the Technodrome, or little things like that, as fans we geek out about.
In the Baxter Stockman scene, when he voice activates his computer, the command that he gives.
Omnis, scan subject.
You really dig into the canon, it's an AI system that he had designed. So there were little bits and pieces, and sometimes it's as simple as that, as when you're trying to figure out what to name something, you go back, you dig into the material, and you're like, we can use that, and if people are really savvy, they'll realize where it came from.
We'll never finish our hip-hop Christmas album!
So there's little bits of dialogue, there are pieces of wardrobe, there are pieces of set deck that we are pulling from all sects of the Turtle fandom and Turtle lore. And that was just part of the thrill of working on the movie.
But we've sprinkled things throughout the film, and we don't like to give it away. We'd like people to try and find it.